Most guys think that being attractive is about looks, money, saying the right pickup line, being super witty, something like that. But the truth is that being attractive is about your vibe. James Dean had a vibe, right? Marlon Brando had a vibe. Muhammad Ali had a vibe. And you could even say that Martin Luther King had a vibe. They all had a different type of vibe. And we're going to talk about that in this video today. The 4 types of vibes that make you more attractive, more magnetic. And when you put all 4 together, basically, it's game over. Oh, by the way, and if you stay to the end, I'm going to give you one simple practice that will help you to start to tune into these vibes more. Yeah, you got to put time in to develop them, but as you develop them, you'll be seeing results all along the way. And on top of that, I'm going to give you one more bonus thing that's going to help you to understand when these vibes are working. And it's really cool, this bonus thing. It's something that will help you to understand polarity too. Now, as a quick reminder, remember to like, subscribe, and share so you don't miss any of the valuable content we'll be putting out. And that's it. Let's get started. Number 1, I talk about this one all the time, and this is the basis. It's becoming grounded as a man. Literally becoming grounded, not the idea of grounded, not some woo meditation of grounding, but literally becoming grounded. What is that? What is grounding? Grounding is your ability to take tension from the environment, to feel the tension of her emotions, the moment, and just let it run right through you. To be able to feel the ground beneath you and to be able to connect to the earth and feel that vibe from the earth. And grounding is not just about grounding energy down, but it's receiving energy back up. Grounding is the first energy because it roots you and calms you and makes you feel safe, makes you feel secure. If you understand it from an energetic perspective, it roots you into the earth where all supply for the physical body is. See, the earth supplies everything we need to physically survive: oxygen, food, water, shelter, minerals for our body. And every one of our ancestors is buried in the earth, and all subconscious memories are buried in the earth. And what I mean by that is, like, if you think about our ancestors, every thought they've ever had, every story they've ever experienced is buried in that earth too. And so the earth is supply for the physical body. When you begin to relate to the earth like our ancestors did, and you begin to learn to ground in earth and feel the earth beneath you and feel the flow of energy from the earth, it pulls you out of your head. And there's nothing more unattractive than being in your head. When you begin to learn to relate to the world, not by being in your head, but from your body, you become way more attractive. And that starts with grounding. Without grounding, it's really hard to apply the rest of the principles I'm going to talk about here that really amplify the attraction. So start to learn to become grounded. I have several great videos on grounding. We'll put one of them in here in this video in the description, so you can go back and watch it and learn to ground better, learn to feel the earth, learn to ground. You're going to be surprised, probably most likely, at the difference it's going to make. And one of the first things, to give you a real world example of grounding that I experienced when I first started really working on this stuff, working on my grounding, was women telling me that they feel safe around me, that when I hold their hand, they feel like their whole body relaxes. And that's because I'd been working heavily on my own grounding. I had lots of anxiety in my life. I was a nervous wreck. And as I learned to ground more and more, not only did I begin to feel more safe in the world, but I noticed that when I got around people, they felt supported. They felt safe too. They felt like they could relax. And for women, when they can relax around you because you're grounded, they go more and more into their feminine, which then, as they move into that feminine flowing energy, they want to do it for you. They want to give that feminine to you because you're giving them the ability to turn it up. They naturally want to polarize with you, the source. So think about that. It's powerful. Now, definitely check out my grounding video when you get a chance. Link will be in the description. Now let's continue on. What's number 2? So number 2, and remember, we're working our way through 4 of them. Number 4 is going to be really cool. So I can't wait to get to number 4. That's one of my favorites. But you need the other 3 first. So let's get into number 2. Number 2 is about freedom from outcome. Freedom from outcome is so powerfully attractive to women. It's when a man can truly be himself. Nothing bothers him. He's non-reactive. He's really grounded. So that allows him to become very expressive, which comes from the upper body. When the heart begins to open and you stop giving a damn as a man what the world thinks of you, and you start saying, you know what? I can handle it. I can handle all these emotions. I can handle the people being a pain in the ass. I can just ground it out. So therefore, I'm just going to allow myself to be more of who I really am. Freedom from outcome comes from non-attachment to outcome. And that's not to be confused with non-attachment, period, like not being attached. Your ability to be non-attached to the outcome means not being attached to the future, how things are going to turn out. I don't need her validation to feel good about myself. I don't need that money to feel good about myself because I'm not attached to the outcome. Therefore, I can truly be myself. And by truly being myself, if she rejects me, I'll handle it. It may hurt, it may make me sad, but I can handle it. I'm a man. Damn, that hurt. And I can handle it. And it might hurt a lot. Maybe there'll be a tear running down your face, but you'll do it in such a solid way that people will find you more attractive. That's true masculine, confident, solid vulnerability. And that's what I'm talking about here. Learning to be vulnerable in a strong, powerful way. I can handle my emotions. Matter of fact, I can handle your emotions. I can ground it all. And if it hurts, it sucks, but I'll get over it. And here's the funny part. Here's the beautiful part, actually, is that as you get better and better at being free from outcome, and a little bit goes a long way, you begin to realize more and more that you don't get rejected as much. When you're no longer afraid of the rejection, they don't reject you as much. And if it does happen, you move through it really fast and you find somebody else that really likes you. When you're comfortable losing, you begin winning like crazy. You see, the game is played in rejection. The game is played in loss. At the stock market, you're going to have a lot of losers before you have a winner, right? If you get really good, let's take a crypto. If you have 4 or 5 really good low cap cryptos or 10 low cap cryptos, and let's say 8 or 9 of them don't pay off, but one of them goes nuts, that could make you a millionaire and pay all the rest back. So this is how life is played. Life is your ability to handle rejection, to handle loss and laugh at it, or at least say, you know what, I can handle it. I'm a man because I know how to ground. And then life starts rewarding you as a man like crazy. And so do the women. Okay, what's number 3? Let's dive into number 3. Number 3 is your ability to lead. Your ability to lead as a man. Now, I'm going to describe leading from an embodiment perspective, and it's going to be a little different than maybe you've ever heard before. Hopefully, we'll see. You might have heard it in some of my videos, but leading is not about controlling. It's not about making all the decisions. Leading is about channeling. A hose leads the water to the garden. That's an example. Okay. Leading is about creating a conduit or a channel from one place to another. And within that, you set people free to be the best versions of themselves. If I'm leading a company and I'm the CEO of the company and I've got software developers and I got graphic designers and I got salesmen, what I do is create a conduit or container or space for them to shine, for them to take the lead at what they're good at. Maybe I've got a software developer that's like badass at what he does. I create a space for him and I create the environment and lead that environment for him to go do what he does. And then I let him take over and I encourage him all along the way. I set him free to be an amazing software developer within my company, to begin to tell me how the software should be developed because I created the container or the space for him to do it in. And then I created a channel for him to flow in from one place to another. Think about that. That allows my company to grow massively because everybody is taking lead of the departments, but I'm looking at the whole thing and I'm saying I'm orchestrating like an orchestra leader, everybody in each of their departments being the best version of themselves, doing what they love to do. And you think about that with an orchestra, it's the same thing. You got the conductor out there. It's the perfect metaphor, actually, now that I think about it. You got the conductor out there conducting, and he may not be the best trumpet player. He may not be the best violin player, but they're out there killing it, doing what they do. He's just keeping them on time, in rhythm, connecting them together, and leading everything to a crescendo, to this amazing moment, right? So when you're out socializing, you're out having fun with a woman, you're taking a woman on a date, it's the same thing. You might start a conversation and somebody tells a good story and you create space for that story. You really let it in, you enjoy it. Then you say, hey, you got an experience like that too. And you lead that person in and maybe they're doing most of the talking. And you're just like that conductor. You're leading that conversation from one place to another. And then as you get good at leading and containing and being the conduit, flowing in a sense with everybody, more and more people are going to want to follow you. And you're still hardly saying anything. Or maybe you tell a little story here and there, and then you invite somebody else in to shine. Your job as a leader is showing people, letting people shine. Maybe you're on a date and you're beautiful date comes over and she's really good at cooking something. She tells you, I'm really good at cooking X, Y, and Z. And you're like, hell yeah, let's do it. And she takes over and you create this beautiful space, beautiful kitchen, beautiful music, beautiful container for her to make a beautiful meal for you. That could be an amazing night for her. And then you enjoy it. You let her take care of you. That's another example. So think about it that way. A great leader helps others to shine and creates space for them to shine and then gets out of the way. All he's doing is nudging, containing, leading, and conducting that orchestra. Okay, so what is number 4? Well, before I get into number 4, I want to remind you about my event that's going on in Croatia. It's coming up really soon. It's an awesome event. It's going to be the beginning of October, and I'm going to do a little commercial for it now. We have our first ever, and hopefully we have them on a regular basis, cruise coming up on a private yacht. It's our Croatia event that we're going to be doing in the beginning of October. It's going to be an amazing event, and I'm going to be teaching every day in the afternoon while we're on this beautiful yacht traveling around Croatia to different islands. Every morning you get to get off the boat and explore a different island. You get to play on paddle boards. You just get to have fun in the sun. There's going to be a hot sauna, jacuzzi. We're going to have breakfast and dinner. You get to go have lunch on the island every day. But every afternoon, we're going to be doing teachings, the energetic embodiment teachings. Now, this is going to be 4 nights. Last time I said it was 3 nights. It's actually going to be 4 nights, 5 days of teachings mixed with us bonding together and having fun. I did this when I went to Egypt and had an amazing time learning to kiteboard. Every afternoon, we had teachings about handling pressure and tension. And in the morning, we kite surfed. We kiteboarded, basically. We learned to have fun. And I noticed the bonding nature of it. It was so powerful because we're all on this boat together. We're all having this adventures together. And it caused such bonding and such amazing growth. And it created a powerful learning experience. Well, I wanted to create this for you. I wanted to create this for my clients. And I want you to be there. So if this is something that sounds interesting to you and you want to have an adventure that you'll probably remember for a lifetime, and you want to learn the energetic embodiment principles, the letting in principles, the connecting principles, and you want to learn all this stuff where we do demos and practices together as a big group, then check out the link in the description for the Croatia event. So let's get back to the last one on our list. One of my favorites to talk about. I've done videos on this. You should definitely check out those videos. We'll put a link in the description. And this one is something I call turn on. Turn on is such a powerful and beautiful energy. And when a man is turned on, never apologize for it. I'm going to explain to you how a man's turn on can go wrong. And then I'm going to explain to you how it can go so powerfully right here in this video. And I want you to understand the difference. It's very important. When you're grounded, when you're solid, when you have an open heart and you're turned on, you can be powerfully attractive. But if your turn on is coming from your head, like you feeling turned on, but you're completely in your head and you're in wanting and you're chasing and you're trying to get her, that can be creepy. If your turn on comes with shame, like you're feeling a lot of shame and embarrassed and you're shutting down and pulling away, that can be a little weird too. But when you own your turn on, when you feel your hips, your turn on comes from your hips, and you feel the warmth and the fuzziness in your hips and you don't apologize for it. And you're like, yeah, you're sexy. And you don't have to tell her you're turned on. You just say, damn, you're sexy. Look at you. And she feels that turn on coming off your body with an open heart. That can be powerfully attractive. See, women love to be seen. They don't dress up for no reason at all. They wear those heels because it makes their ass look better. They wear lipstick because it reminds you of a certain part of their body. They dress the way they dress to be seen, to be appreciated. And when you're a man that knows how to open his heart, ground, you're free from outcome, and you come up with some turn on, and you're just like looking her in the eyes with your eyes from that turn on, and you're just enjoying her, she feels it. Now, I want you to think about people. I talked about him in the beginning of this video, James Dean. The reason he was the sex symbol he was because he was so darn good at turn on. I have a video called, and I have a meditation, the James Dean meditation, the James Dean video, where I talk about this very thing. Think about it. And then you've got Marlon Brando. There's a great video, if you look it up out there, Marlon Brando flirting with people that are interviewing him. One of them, I believe, was a former Playboy playmate. I might have that wrong. Or Miss USA or Miss Universe or something like that. And he's just going to town with it, dancing, and his turn on. You can feel the turn on come off of him. That's, again, why Marlon Brando was so darn attractive to women. And I want you to think about this for a minute. Turn on is such a powerful energy. Elvis Presley, women went nuts for him because he didn't apologize for his turn on. He owned it. And all three of these guys had powerful turn on. But where else does turn on work in the world? Where else is turn on powerful in the world? Well, turn on works in business. If you are turned on for your business, and I'm not talking about sexual turn on, but there's a turn on that does happen. If you're turned on for what you do, I get turned on for what I do. I love it. And you're putting that turn on into your business, it's very transmutative. Turn on can create a baby, but turn on can also create a business, birth a business, birth all kinds of things. Think about Steve Jobs and Apple. Do you think he was turned on for what he created? Look at Apple. It's well outlived him, right? He raised that thing. He loved it. And not only did he love it, he had turn on to go out there and do the hard work to turn Apple into the industry it is today. I've also talked about Mike Tyson. He was turned on for fighting. He talked to Joe Rogan about it in an interview. What does it mean when you get erect, or I think he said something like erect for boxing or fighting? You guys can correct me in the comments on this if I got it wrong. And that's powerful too. When Mike Tyson is getting turned on for beating somebody up, it says a lot about his passion for what he is doing. So what do you get turned on for? Not just with women, but where in life are you turned on? That's probably a clue to your zone of genius, which I talk a lot about in these videos too. So I definitely want to hear this in the comments. Put a comment below. Let me know what you get turned on for. Let me know which one of these energies you most have to embody. Now, with that said, there's one more thing I do want to share with you. I didn't even say it at the beginning, but it's a bonus. The bonus is very simple. It's the 4 qualities that if you embody these qualities, you'll awaken in women. And this is why they become so attractive. And I want you to learn to watch for these 4 qualities and to get good at spotting these 4 qualities. Number 1, I want you to think about this really powerfully. When you become powerfully grounded, she's going to surrender to your masculine. She's going to trust your presence. And that's how you're going to know you're doing a good job with this, because the woman just feels safe around you. I talked about that earlier in the video. And women love to surrender because it allows them to become more feminine. The more masculine grounded you are, the more feminine they can become. Number 2, what's the number 2? She expresses her feminine more. She begins to become tossing her hair, more giggly, more girly. She wants to flow for you, because as you become more free from outcome and you become more grounded, you see more of this expressive energy on her. And that's just a natural process. If she starts to go into her masculine, starts to shut down, starts to get serious, then she's probably compensating for what she feels is a lack of grounding or masculine in the environment around you. But you've probably seen this. I've seen this with girls I've known for years that are out there hustling. Maybe they're boss babes, and they get around the right guy, that guy that makes them want to surrender. And suddenly the little girly energy comes out of them. And that's what I'm talking about. And it feels so good to see that. And they love it. Number 3, she takes what you give her, with your masculine, whatever you create this beautiful container, you lead her to a space, maybe you bring her back to your house and you have it all set up to cook. And I kind of alluded to this earlier before. She wants to expand. She wants to take whatever you give her and make it better. If you take her to a beautiful restaurant and she wants a surrender into her feminine, she wants to take that energy, really enjoy it, and expand for you. She wants to see you enjoy her being more feminine, or she wants to cook for you, or she wants to nurture you. She wants to become giving to you. And that's because your contained masculine space is causing her to want to take what you give her from the masculine and then expand it and give back more. So watch for that on women. When women start taking what you give them and expand it back to you from their feminine energy, that is a sign that she's getting more and more attracted to you, and that she's really surrendering to who you're being. And number 4, she steps into her turn on. As you learn to feel more and more, and you learn to get comfortable feeling your own hips, and you get comfortable not apologizing for feeling your hips, you're going to begin to feel, when you look at a woman and let her in, when she drops into her hips, and she's going to know you can feel her drop into her hips, and you're going to begin to feel that polarization. The conversation may not start out that way instantly, but as you relax more and more into each other, you ground more, you're more free from outcome, you flow together, she expresses with you, that process naturally starts to happen. You feel this turn on between each other. It comes through the eyes, it comes through subtle communication, it comes through vocal tone. And that makes her want to surrender even more, and it starts the whole cycle over again. So this is a powerful process. When you learn to embody turn on, and then put the words on top, you're going to find as a man, you have to say less. You don't have to use as many of these techniques, that you're starting to act more like a natural. You're becoming more natural at attracting women. And that is the key. That is the power. And that's what I want you to understand from these videos. That's why I talk so much about embodiment. And embodiment creates a vibe. And these are vibes. And you put these vibes together and you become powerfully attractive. And as you master them, like any sport or any art, you don't have to think about it anymore. It starts to express itself out of you naturally. Now, I want to invite you into a simple practice. I love to give practices you can do this week. When you're going out to meet women, flirt, or just socialize, practice connecting with people. It doesn't have to be all about dating. It can be about business. It can be about sales. When you feel yourself going into your head, when you're starting to think way too much and this starts to take off, just stop for a minute. Look somebody in the eyes. If you can look them in the eyes, if you can handle that, or look down, feel into your body for a second and count to 3. Just take a breath, count to 3, 1, 2, 3, and feel your body. Feel your legs, feel your chest, feel your stomach, and just let the weight of your body take over and pull you out of your head. And if you practice this every day, just stop, pull inside, breathe. 1, 2, 3, feel. Feel my heart, feel my stomach, feel my legs, then come back and start talking again. And I do it again, go inside. 1, feel the heart. 2, the stomach. 3, feel the ground. Then come back and look again, and then do it again. Feel the heart. 1, feel down to the stomach, maybe a little of the turn on this time. Then feel the ground beneath you. Then come back again. You're going to begin to get better and better at it. You're going to become more like an automatic response of the body, muscle memory. And if you do this like 10 times every morning or throughout the day, 10 times, practice that. Then when you're in a conversation, you need to stop. You can just look down for a few seconds, count 1, 2, 3, and come back. And you're going to find that it is going to bring you back to your body. But you got to practice it ahead of time. Learn to feel your body, learn to pull yourself out of your head, and also learn to let people in. I talk about that in some of my other videos where I talk about the heart walk and the vulnerability walk. When you get that down, everything's going to change. So your homework assignment this week is to do that simple exercise every day in the morning and maybe a couple times throughout the day for the week. And at the end of the week, report in the comments about how you're doing. I'd love to hear how you're doing with that. It is a game changer. Now, with that said, remember, at the end of the day, women don't fall in love with your lines, your money, your power in the world. Ultimately, that stuff may attract them in the beginning. It may pull them in because they're interested in having your money, but it doesn't make them fall in love with you. Ultimately, women really fall in love with guys that can feel, that guys that are grounded, guys that have open hearts, guys that can feel their bodies. That's normal. And so do you. The truth is so do you. When you get really turned on for a woman, it's because she can feel and because she is feeling in response to you. And that's creating a polarity. So remember to like, subscribe, and share. Remember to comment, and remember, only the courageous really live. I'll see you in the next video.